Welcome back, everyone. Today, for our Day Zero build for Godzilla Reign of Kaiju, we have Jet Jaguar, Warrior of Justice. I will admit, this is the character I was probably the least excited for, but the more I look at him and the more I do some research, the more excited I get. So Jet Jaguar is a 6 hand size, 32 health character with the Giant keyword trait. No monster here. And we have the Chaos, Good, and Void symbols. Pretty interesting spread. So we have a Form ability. So this is an ability we can use anytime during our turn in that kind of lull where we could play like an attack card or play a foundation. We could also choose to play a Form ability. So once per turn, each player chooses one foundation in their rival's discard pile. Then that rival builds the chosen card. So your rival picks a foundation in your discard pile for you to build, and you pick one foundation in your rival's discard pile for them to build. So right off the bat, giving your rival a resource and having your rival have a say over what resource you get doesn't necessarily sound like a good trade-off. But we have ways around that. We also have an Enhance. This attack gets +1 damage. Your next check this turn gets +1. If this is the third time you've played this ability, this turn, commit this character. So if it's the third time, you commit him. But if you're able to ready him, you can just keep using it, because it's not the third or greater time. So pretty interesting. So he wants to build wide and possibly take advantage of deadlock abilities, because deadlock can only be used if your rival has at least 11 foundations, and he gets ya there. So first off, we have for our attacks Jet Haymaker, another Haymaker card. It is a 4/3, 0 high for 4, 2 mid block. Excuse me. With Punch, Tech, and Deadlock Powerful 3. So if our rival has at least 11 foundations, we get access to our Powerful 3 ability, which is an enhance that says spend any number of momentum. For each momentum spent, this attack gets +3 damage. As a Blitz, add 2 cards from any player's discard pile to the bottom of their deck in any order. So this could be you putting cards you don't want to build on the bottom of your deck, or putting cards your rival might want to build on the bottom of their deck. So if you put all of your rival's foundations to the bottom of their deck, then when you use your form, they just don't get to build anything if they don't have any foundations in their discard pile. They choose something for you to build, they don't get to build anything. So pretty tricky there. And you could put the foundations you wouldn't want to build on the bottom of your deck, so they have to pick the best foundations for you to build. And then as another Blitz, this attack gets +1 speed for each foundation in your rival's stage, which works really well with our Powerful, because they have to be in deadlock, which means they have to have at least 11 foundations. That's +11 speed. It becomes an 11 high 4 that can gain a whole bunch of damage with Powerful 3. That is nuts, especially considering this is a 4 difficulty move. Next we have Jet Uppercut, a 5/3, 5 low for 3, 2 low block with Deadlock Stun 2, which means if our rival has at least 11 foundations, we can force them to commit 2 of them. It also has Punch and Tech. As a Blitz, add up to 4 cards from your discard pile to the bottom of your deck in any order. This attack is +1 damage for each non-attack card added this way. So obviously we're going to be putting foundations to the bottom of our deck so that our rival can, we can force our rival to choose the foundations we want them to pick. So this becomes a 5 low for 7. And then as another Blitz, if the check to play this card was modified, draw 1 card. So this could be from Jet Jaguar's check boost, or if your rival tries to hack your check with Mark Tyner or the evil foundation that hacks your rival's check by 2 when you flip it. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's a 2/4. It's like a 3 high block. Anyway, But if they try to hack your check to play this card, you can draw a card. So either way, it's a good little bit of a recursion there. Next up is Series of Strikes, a 3/3, 2 high for 4, 1 high block with punch and tech. And as a blitz, add 3 non-attack cards from your discard pile to the bottom of your deck in a random order. So we don't get to choose this time, but we get to guarantee that whatever we don't want to build, we can just put to the bottom of our deck and it's okay. Next up, we have Canister Creation Strike, a 5/3, 4 low for 5, 2 mid block with tech and weapon. As an enhance, we can lose 2 health, remove 1 foundation, so one of our own foundations, build 1 foundation with a printed difficulty of X from your discard pile. X equals the removed foundation's printed difficulty plus 1. I apologize, I am yawning a lot. I am recording a lot of these kind of later at night, which I really shouldn't do, but it is what it is. So we can remove, say, a 2 difficulty foundation and build in a 3 difficulty foundation from our discard pile. It's pretty good. So it allows us to selectively build, whereas our rival is going to be able to choose what we build with our form. So if they're like, we're going to make you build this, 1 difficulty foundation, you can then remove it and build any 2 difficulty foundation you want. So it kind of works there. And then Ground Forces Engage. This is a 5/3, 4 low for 5 with a 1 high block, stun 1, ranged, and weapon. As a blitz, our next attack gets plus 2 speed. But if our rival has 10 or more foundations, it gets plus 5 speed instead. Hey, you've got at least 10 foundations, my next attack is going to be damn near unblockable. Pretty cool. But the main thing for Jet Jaguar is going to be the foundation base. So we're going to start with Valiant Hero. This is a 5/5, 2 mid block. 5 difficulty foundation seems pretty high costed, but if it's the only option that our rival has, we can just get it built in for free. As an enhance, we can commit this for +3 or -3 speed on an attack. And as a response that is tenacious or playable while this card is committed, we can flip this after our rival plays a blitz ability, we get to cancel it. That seems pretty good. We do have high guards and low guards. Again, they're really good for early builds. Yes, our rival might just build these in for us, but we can remove them for Canister Creation Strike to get a 1 difficulty foundation. And we do have some ways to sacrifice foundations for benefits, so even if they build these in, we can still use them. We have Brace for Impact, a 2/5, 2 mid block with Deadlock Breaker 2, so if our rival has 11 foundations or more, we can activate this Breaker 2, which says after we block with this card, our rival's next check to play a card gets -2. So, kind of evening out the odds of them having more foundations. We can hack their checks and make them commit more resources. And then as a static, when we try to block with this card, return the rival's attack to its printed speed and zone. So that's really, really good. That is a very powerful ability. And then giving our rival 11 foundations just to get this Breaker 2 is really, really cool. And I love this card, Immense Showdown, a 1/5, 2 low block, enhance flip, add 2 cards from any player's discard pile to the bottom of their deck in any order. So it's kind of like Jet Haymaker again, where we can put our rival's foundations on the bottom of their deck so they can't build in with our form. Or we can just, again, tutor which ones we don't want to build back into our deck. Or as a Deadlock form, we can sacrifice this card to add any attack with a printed difficulty of 5 or greater from our discard pile to our hand. So this is our Ground Forces Engage, our Canister Creation Strike, and our Jet Uppercut. So this is just our rival has 11 foundations. We turn each copy of Immense Foundation into an attack. So imagine you've cleared your foundations from your discard pile. You sacrifice this to pick up an attack. You play it, use the sacrifice it, and if it's the only foundation in your discard pile, use the Jet Jaguar form, make your rival build it in for you again, sacrifice it again, and pick up another attack, and you just push through. We have our Moment of Normalcy, a 2/5/3 high block with Unique. Enhanced Commit, return this attack to its printed speed or damage. So, whichever stat is giving us the most trouble, we just return that stat to its printed value. We have Joining the Fight, enhance. It's a 2/5/3 low block, enhance once per turn. If your attack deals damage, remove one card from your rival's discard pile. So, pretty much banking on, hey, if this is going to hit, I'm going to remove your best foundation from the discard pile so that you can't build it in with my form. We also have a Thief Enhance. We're not a thief, so we don't have to worry about it. We have Refreshing Blend, a 2/5/2 mid block. Enhance, spend 1 momentum, gain 2 health. Or enhance, spend 1 momentum, ready 1 foundation that has not been readied this combat phase. So this could be things like the Valiant Hero, Moment of Normalcy, or maybe some other foundations that we'll see here in a little bit. Or we can just gain some health, which is pretty good. We're a 620, we're 632, so we're already kind of chonky, but hey, gaining health is a very good defense. This is a fun one of Researching the Answer. It's a 3/5/2 low block Unique. Response: after your ready step, if there are 6 or more face-up foundations with exactly 1 copy in your stage, your character's hand size gets +1 this turn. We could become a 7-hander just by having at least 6 different face-up foundations in our stage that have only 1 copy. And because of how we are constantly building things in, Jet Jaguar is a really neat character to play a lot of one-off cards. And speaking of, tutoring our stage, we have Steadfast Resolve, a 1/5/3 low block. Response: sacrifice 1 foundation. After an attack is played, it gets +1 or -1 damage. So we can get rid of our low guards, our high guards, our face down cards. We can reuse flip effects this way by saying, hey, we're going to sacrifice our Immense Showdown, and then if you build it back in for me with my form, I can reuse the flip effect again. We have Breaking the Cuffs, a 2/5/2 high block. Enhance, sacrifice, discard 1 card. Your attack gets +3 speed and +3 damage. So just very good stats on this, especially if you're throwing it at the end of a string with like a series of strikes, which is a 3 diff. So it can become a 5 high for 7 on a 3 diff. That's a really good rate, especially if you're wearing like 5 speed from ground forces engaged. Even 2 speed, make it an 8 high for 7 on a 3 diff is really good. We have Resting Up, a 1/5/3 low block. Enhance Commit. This attack gets -2 speed. If your character is committed, it gets -3 speed instead. So if we have used our Jet Jaguar 3 times in a turn and it commits, Resting Up is now -3 speed on any attack. We have Urameshi's Perseverance, a 2/5/4 mid block with Ally and Unique. As a form, we can remove it and spend 1 momentum to add any card from our discard pile to our hand. This can be picking up attacks, this can be picking up foundations. Like if our form once per turn, they didn't build in the foundation we wanted, we can just pick that foundation up. So again, just tutoring our discard pile. We're playing with our discard pile a lot with this character. We have Keiko's Aid, a 2/5/3 high block. Response: flip. After you block an attack, your rival's next attack gets +2 difficulty. Now again, if we're constantly building in foundations for them every turn on our turns, this is kind of a way to mitigate some of that, because we're forcing them to keep committing even more foundations to try to push through. And then lastly, I believe, except for 1, we have a suite of cards that give us power tokens as Deadlock enhances. So if we push our rival to that 11 foundations, we can generate power tokens freely with every attack. We have Standing Tall, a 2/5/2 low block. Enhance, sacrifice X power tokens. Build a foundation from your discard pile with a difficulty of X. So this is a great way to loop other foundations that we want to build in. We have Colossal Stare Down. Enhance, it's a 2/5, 3 low block. Enhance, sacrifice 3 power tokens. Your rival reveals their hand. Choose one card revealed this way and discard it. And again, Deadlock Enhance, our turn, add 1 power token to your stage. So this is really cool. Along with Volatile Encounter, which is a 2/5, 2 high block. Enhance, sacrifice a power token. Add a card from your discard pile to your momentum, and then Deadlock Enhance your turn, add a power token to your stage. So these 3 foundations kind of set up their own loops. Each attack you get to build in a power token. And then if you sacrifice them for their ability, you can use the form on Jet Jaguar to force your rival to let you build it back in, and then get more power tokens and possibly reuse these very powerful abilities. So he's kind of one of the best characters to do this Deadlock get power tokens ability, because he can push your rival into Deadlock. Now granted, your rival will have ways to get out of Deadlock, hopefully, if they're playing them, but I mean, if you can push them far enough into Deadlock and just say, hey, I'm going to get a bunch of power tokens and I'm going to abuse these very powerful abilities, you might just be able to run away with the game. I mean, there are some ways to like flip your rival foundations on these symbols. But yeah, that is a really cool trick, so I wanted to add at least one of each on each of his symbols for this. We have Countermeasure, a 3/5, 3 high block. Response flip after your rival plays a non-character ability that increases the damage of an attack. Cancel it. So if they powerful, if they just say, hey, this attack is plus X damage, or plus 2, plus whatever, you can just flip this and cancel it. And then if you destroy it with, say, a Steadfast Resolve, you can then force your rival to let you build it back in, and you can just keep trying to press down their abilities to gain damage. Similarly, we have Reboot, a 2/5, 2 high block with Tech. Enhance, sacrifice, return this attack to its printed speed and damage. Your rival may discard 1 attack or backup card to cancel this effect. So, kind of saying, return everything to printed unless you get rid of another attack. And then, on your next turn, form, hey, do you want me to get that reboot back so that you're still just dealing with printed damage? Or maybe there's something I want more in my discard pile, like a Moment of Normalcy, or a Valiant Hero, or a Breaking the Cuffs. It's just really interesting. Honestly, Jet Jaguar is probably the hardest character to play in the Reign of Kaiju set. It's very much going to be dependent on how many one-ofs you want to run in your foundation base, what style of foundation base you want to run, and how you're going to kind of maintain your discard pile and your stage. I've actually got a couple of different versions of him. Like I said, there's the Deadlock Force of the Power Token Suite. I recently built a deck with Spreading the Word from the Challenger series from Critical Role, which puts a pamphlet counter on your rival's foundations, and if you start your turn and your rival has at least 10 foundations with pamphlet counters on them, you win the game. So he can force your rival to that 10, 11 foundations, and there's quite a bit of flip and deadlock flip on these symbols. So you can say, hey, I'm going to flip all your foundations, I'm going to build you a bunch of useless foundations, and I'm going to flood the zone with counters and just instant win, and all I have to do is stay alive. So it's really, really cool, and I think he's one of the best characters for the deck searching mechanics that we're going to see, that I actually have a video coming out on after all of these Day Zeros. So I just kind of wanted to show a little bit of everything in this deck. It's definitely not the best, but it does kind of get you started thinking like how you want to use these specific abilities, and I think this was the first character that I was able to build on the good symbol. So I wanted to build something on the good symbol. But what do you guys think of Jet Jaguar? I know he's a lot of people's like favorite character not maybe like in Universus, but in like Godzilla, a lot of people love Jet Jaguar. So I'm interested to see what other people think of this. But if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. It would really help me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.